Hello, I'm Nathan Towns, and this is my co-host Matthew I. Bishop, and this is 3.5 Geeks.
Night of the Blood Freaks.
And this is June 11th on 2014. Just in case anyone's confused, I was confused with it. And well, I'd like to shout out, who was it again? I'm sorry.
David Conway, who, among others, gave us some great advice this past week on the format of our podcast and our recording. So thank you for that, Dave.
Yes, thank you very much.
He was my coworker back in the day, and we share any geeky tastes on Facebook and so forth. Thanks a lot, Dave. I also want to wish a happy Bad Wolf Day to everyone.
Oh yes, happy Bad Wolf Day.
Yeah. This was the day a few years ago that the name Bad Wolf, the true meaning of the term was discovered in the annals of Doctor Who. The mysterious words being discovered throughout time and space. From everywhere from oh
god, it's been a year since I did that. Wow.
Oh yeah. Nate and I celebrated Bad Wolf Day last year with me drawing chalk all over the cul-de-sac of my my home street, and then Nate, who wasn't even a Whovian at the time, thought it was such a cool idea that he made. He built the words "Bad Wolf" on Minecraft.
I'm gonna have to reshare that on Tumblr.
Yeah. You should reblog it from the 3.5 Geeks Tumblr.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yes.
Spread the word, spread the bad.
Yeah, and
listen, I know you're just late, listener, but you know, you might want to spread it around a bit, just in honor.
Yeah.
Even if you're late.
Yeah, I mean, I did it on a couple of places at work today. There's a chalkboard in our offices now, and I drew "Bad Wolf" in big letters on the chalkboard, and there was also a little whiteboard in the other half of the offices, and I wrote it on that, and took a picture for purposes of Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and so forth, but forgot to erase it, and someone started asking, what does that mean, Bad Wolf? So I got the opportunity, somewhat sheepishly, to evangelize this person and my company's CEO, standing right there, about the meaning of Bad Wolf, and well, you know, the fact that it was a part of the Doctor Who mythos, and so forth. I didn't spoil the meaning for it, you know, partly because I thought it would take an extremely lengthy explanation, but my coworker later came up to me and asked me more about it, and he said, well, what's the deal with that anyway? Are there more mysterious phrases from Doctor Who? And I was like, oh well, there's count the shadows and don't blink, and are you my mummy and everybody lives, but Bad Wolf is the one that's really achieved meme status.
Oh yeah,
the one that's sort of like always hiding under the skin of the world for you to find. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, happy everyone.
Yes, Joyce. I hope they kind of sneak that in, and I wish they. Well, I hope they would sneak it in, and maybe future episodes.
Well,
just for laughs.
He did a little bit. And I don't mean to spoiler anything, but the phrase does show up in the 50th anniversary special.
Oh yeah.
Once or twice, spoken, not written, but there. Its presence is acknowledged.
If you guys haven't seen, listener, if you haven't seen the 50th episode of Doctor Who, it's amazing. It'll blow you away.
Yes, yes. Everyone knows that my feelings on Stephen Moffat are mixed.
I have
And
hatred. I have major hatred. But
yeah,
at
but
times where he can pull it off,
the
he
I
makes me
believe
proud of him.
I believe the 50th was the top of his games.
Pretty much.
Was the top of his game, and
Games.
I the games of the Doctor. No, but
It is true.
but then the following Christmas special, the one that came immediately after that, I felt like it totally killed the momentum and the joy created by the 50th anniversary special, because the Christmas special that followed it, the time of the Doctor was just, I don't know, it was just very shoddy in my opinion, very phoned in and shoehorned together, and not a sufficient tribute to the wonder that was Matt Smith.
Yeah.
But I am nevertheless looking forward very much to our good gentleman Peter Capaldi. As we have discussed before, I think he's
He'll
going to
do
be.
fine.
I think he's going to be amazing.
He'll do fine.
Yeah. Last week, speaking as we are now of Doctor Who, we talked about who people would want to see as their ultimate fan cast for Doctor Who. I don't really have one in particular that I think that would like stepping into the role now would be like be all end all of Doctors. Because I feel like we've already had that. I do.
Yeah.
We had David Tennant, and in my opinion, though opinions differ as they do. In my opinion, I think he was the ultimate Doctor, and right up there with the Fourth Doctor and so forth, and all the classics. But I do wish that they would cast a little more diversity into the role, and we know that this is possible.
Oh yeah.
We know that the Doctor can regenerate into a gender other than male.
Look at the Master. He done monster races. And
Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be random. The Doctor has joked that he might regenerate with 2 heads or no heads. At one point during a non-canonical skit, Jack Harkness is unsurprised when a blue creature claims to be the newest regeneration of the Doctor. Like, oh, you're a little blue this time, sir. Doctor. So that suggests that sort of thing would be possible too if Jack's just like, oh, okay. But I mean, it would be great to see
they can't die.
a person of color in the role of the Doctor. For a long time,
or gender female.
Yeah, no, or a female, and in fact, that's one of my favorite ideas for a fantasy cast version of the Doctor would be a female Doctor, and I think that that H.G. Wells from Warehouse 13, Jamie Murray, would make an amazing female Doctor, and not just because she's breathtakingly pretty. I think in the role of H.G. Wells, she created this ancient anachronism of a character, this woman out of time and yet older than she has any right to be, and yet supremely intelligent, flexible sexually, because the Doctor flirts with everyone. At least 10 did. And yeah, she'd be brilliant. I also sometimes daydream about what it would be like to have an American play the Doctor. And while I wouldn't, suggest, I mean, 'cause he's such an iconic British character, well, I wouldn't suggest that at some point that the Doctor from Doctor Who, as we know it, regenerates into an American. I'm thinking like a separate parallel continuity, a timeline in which an American produced version of Doctor Who.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, and I would suggest like starting off the Doctor as being played by Joe Morton. I don't know if you've seen Eureka at all, but
No.
he's also been in movies. You've seen Terminator 2?
Yeah.
Richard Dyson or whatever his name is, the guy who accidentally invents Skynet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The guy, they go to his house to kill him before he finishes.
Yeah.
And little Johnny Connor and Uncle Bob stop Sarah from doing that, and he actually helps them try and stop Skynet, dying in the process. Oh, spoilers. His movie's like 20 years old, guys. Whatever.
It's not really a spoiler. It's
statute of limitations.
Unless you're a kid.
It's like spoiling the Book of Job, kids.
Yeah.
Which is also one of my favorite endings to a book in the Bible, but that's another thing.
Can I suggest one?
Well, hold on.
Oh.
I think that Joe Morton should start off the series. Like maybe he's at the end of his run, and he's like the American First Doctor or whatever.
Okay.
Or the American Ninth Doctor or whatever. We don't have to define where he is in his lifespan. But then when he regenerates into Lee Pace. I'm not saying that the young hip white guy should always take over for the cool, serene, intelligent black guy, but watching Lee Pace in the TV series Pushing Daisies, he played this amazing, essentially American version of the 10th Doctor, because he was tall, he was skinny, he ran and jumped over things with this exceptional agility, and he could rock a sword fight scene. Like in the second episode of Pushing Daisies, there's an epic sword fight, and 10 was always a dab hand with a cutlass. So that would be my that would be my idea. This is my fighting hand. That would be my idea of like an American fantasy cast Doctor Who series. What did you have as a suggestion?
The third one should be Gene Wilder.
Oh my God, that would be madcap.
It would be awesome, though.
It would.
It's too bad. Listener, I'm a big fan of Gene Wilder. He's my favorite, like, actor. It's too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he blew me away. You haven't seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory for some reason, go see it.
Yeah.
Gene Wilder. Awesome. For some reason, the movie, it takes a slow pace in the beginning. I was never a fan of the beginning of the movie, but when they get to the Chocolate Factory, that's when the magic really happens of the whole movie, in my opinion. And Gene Wilder is great.
Well, Roald Dahl has always been a British national treasure. Well, not national treasure because he's Welsh, but a British sort of icon. And his wild, ridiculous, sometimes horrifying children's fiction. And in fact, Torchwood 3, as depicted in the TV series Torchwood, was initially based in Roald Dahl Plaza, Roald Dahl Place, however you pronounce it in Welsh, in Cardiff. And some very prominent shots of the plaza as they're standing on the street above where the hub is located underground, feature shots of a big building behind them with Roald Dahl's words etched on it in both English and Welsh. So Gene Wilder as possibly the most famous Roald Dahl character playing a character in the Hooniverse, that dovetails really nicely. So kudos to you, Dos. I always thought Eddie Izzard and Tim, a good friend of the program, Tim Sawyer, should agree with me on this one, that Eddie Izzard should get a chance to play in the Hooniverse.
Yeah.
Whether
he's the Doctor or not.
Whether he's the Doctor or a new regeneration of the Master, and he'd be amazing as the Master. I don't know if you've ever seen Eddie Izzard play a bad guy, but even in Mystery Men, when it's just this bizarre disco obsessed bad guy. He had this charm about him, this awesomeness. There was this series called The Riches. He plays a gangster who's like undercover, like in hiding.
Interesting.
My Super Ex-Girlfriend with Uma Thurman.
Heard of it.
He plays the mad scientist in that. I think mad scientist, a supervillain type in that anyway.
Huh.
So yes. So he's got experience being a super intelligent bad guy.
Oh.
So if you want the Master, he could also play a ridiculously lunatic Doctor.
Yeah.
Just completely. You just tell Eddie to go on stage and start doing stand up, and film it, and he's so intelligent in his stand up that he could. He's making all these historical references. I know of at least 2 stand up comedy shows that he's done. One of which I've seen live that have bits revolving around the Trojan War. Awesome. Done
Don't know a lot of history. I swear he could be a history teacher.
Yeah.
I just thought of someone else who could be another Doctor. It'd be an American Doctor.
Yeah.
Just trying to remember. How I Met Your Mother. He plays.
Wait. Are you talking about Neil Patrick Harris? Because that would be awesome.
Neil Patrick Harris as another Doctor.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
That would be ridiculous. But yeah,
he's great in lots of roles. He can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if he can do the villain role, he definitely played the superhero. Just he would be more. Going and if you don't know this, listener, he's gay.
Yeah.
And he has a son. 2 sons.
Yeah, twins, I think. Yeah, and he once had a contest with John Barrowman on Twitter, who is the biggest gay celebrity on Twitter, and I think NPH won just by sheer star power. But John Barrowman gave him a pretty good run for his money. So
Mario? Sorry.
What?
Said Mario. Star power.
Oh, Starman.
Sorry. Don't mean to derail you.
It doesn't take much, man. You're like just a penny. Put a penny on the rail. I'll hit it at full speed and go, wait, what just happened? Why am I in a bush? Why are all my cars piled up behind me like that one scene in Hancock?
Oh, I haven't seen Hancock. I want to see Hancock.
Well, that's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer.
But, yeah, I know. I know it's not a spoiler.
Yeah, he stops a train by landing in front of it, and just the whole thing goes crunch, 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 and it just keeps coming because it's a freight train and it's like a mile long. And crunch, 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 and everything is destroyed. But he saves some kid's life or something. I'm not sure.
Huh. Is Hancock really good?
It's if you are a superhero geek like myself who enjoys the genre but also enjoys things that mock the genre, it is pretty damn good. It also has some surprisingly epic moments in the climax, and I'm not going to give those away, but I have long been a fan of scenes in movies where the hero shows us just how tough he is simply by walking. One of the few parts of X-Men 3 that I enjoyed was a part where Wolverine shows us just how amazing he is, how tough a guy he is, just by walking. There's a scene like that in Hancock, and Will Smith owns it.
Nice.
He really does. I have long been a fan of Big Willie style. Even back before he was a Man in Black, which is my jam as franchises go, is my wheelhouse. Not just because of my initials, but because it's an alien sci-fi comedy, and all of these things are things that I love. It just happens to also have my initials, and I look damn good in a suit. One of the few looks I can pull off, but I wholeheartedly say that I can rock that look. I had Ray-Bans when I was a kid, and I had the black suit. It just awesome. But anyway, even before that, like Independence Day and stuff like that, I loved Will Smith, and I unashamedly support him in the movie Hancock. But I did hear a rumor once that he was talking about making a Hancock 2, and I don't think that's a good idea, but
No.
whatever. I'd rather see an Independence Day 2.
Did you like him as? Did you like him in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yeah, I thought he was hilarious.
I never saw it as a kid. I was way into cartoons, so I got sucked into cartoons instead of watching the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and all those 80s.
Yeah, I haven't seen every single episode, but I have seen quite a few, and there was this. He just has this charisma.
Yeah, he does.
This awesome charisma about him, and it's pretty awesome.
With his clean rap.
His R&B stylings aren't too shabby either.
Going to Miami.
3.5 Geeks may not be the best show on planet Earth, but we're still a better love story than Twilight. Apropos of segue, not really sure that's how that saying works, but I had an interesting experience this past week, as you have heard about, because I've been talking your ear off about it. Yeah, off the air. I am a writer. I write a lot of fanfic. And, your opinion of that may vary or what have you, but I'd like to think that my stuff is fairly quality. I'm also a diehard fan of comics, as anyone who has met me for more than 5 minutes will probably tell you from my T-shirts.
Yeah.
So you'd think that being a writer who loves comic books, I would have written a bunch of comics by now, and I haven't. This past week, I wrote my first comic book script, and submitted it to a fan project called Young Justice Omega, done by Omega Comics. Follow them on Facebook, Omega Comics. Giving a little shout out, listener, please follow Omega Comics on Facebook. They're doing a thing called Young Justice Omega, where it's a fan published imaginary quote-unquote season 3 to the beloved animated series Young Justice, which got canceled before its time because Cartoon Network didn't think it hit its proper demographic audience. We want people who buy toys to watch this show. Instead, other people are watching this show in droves, but they're not making us any money by buying us action figures. So, canceled. Instead, you get the warmed over leftovers of Teen Titans.
So sad.
Yeah, which I'm sure some people are enjoying. I in particular would rather have more Young Justice, which is why I contributed an issue, a script to Young Justice Omega. I didn't come up with the idea, the concept, or what have you. That was given to me by Omega Comics editorial staff. But they entrusted me with writing the dialogue and breaking it down into this panel goes here and what have you. And it was an interesting process. I'm a very visual writer as it is. What I enjoy doing is having these images in my head and trying to precisely articulate exactly what's going on the screen and in the screen, the imaginary screen in my head, exactly what's going on in the page. It's a very interesting medium for doing that when you are trying to describe to some other who's going to draw your work what you want it to look like. It took me the better part of a weekend to do that, and very very well worth it. I mean, even if for some reason they decide they don't want my script and scrap it for whatever reason, it was a rewarding experience, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. But I am fingers crossed looking forward to seeing the finished project when that comes out.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
definitely I look forward to it too. I would love to read the one that you have written, whatever part you have. I remember you talking about it, and I was like, "Well, what should I do? Should I edit podcasts?"
Yeah.
uh, and I really can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. Even though I don't know much of the Young Justice, and I don't have cable, so I couldn't watch it in the first place.
Well, season 1 is currently available on Netflix. Hopefully, they will also put up season 2 now, so you can watch it through legitimate channels. Hopefully that'll come up sometime soon.
I mean, that would help me.
That would be amazing because there are of course more nefarious and sketchier ways of watching it online without legitimate. But I would prefer that the money go to the creators, or what have you.
Of course.
But of course. But yeah, I don't know what sort of spoilers or whatever I can give, but I can tell you, my script involves Aquaman and Atlantis, and the fabulous cast of characters, the Young Justice animated series and related comic medium created for Atlantis and so forth. I got to cameo just about everyone in my script. I don't know if they'll all show up in the final version, but I love my cameos. So yeah, that's fun. So yeah.
Yay! Well, congratulations, and I really hope it makes it.
Thank you. I mean, I'm pretty, again, regardless if it, it doesn't, that they decide to go a different direction with that, I would be disappointed, but it's still a cool thing to have in my portfolio. I wrote a comic book script. Now I could write more of those.
Yeah, I hope you give you recognition. Didn't you say, since we were able to talk about it, he's able to submit like the link to this podcast or something? I can't
Well,
remember.
yeah. Max Scholbeck of Omega Comics has graciously agreed to give us a shout out on his Facebook wall. So Max, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
And in return, though we don't have nearly as many followers as you, and we have one listener, that we return the favor well in kind.
Absolutely. We definitely. Anyways.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh.
What?
Another thing we did this past weekend that we both did was Old Port Festival.
Oh yes, that was
Uh,
great. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Listener, if that hasn't been clear from past podcasts, or if this is your first time here, hi, welcome. We live in the area of Portland, Maine, in the United States of America, and this weekend, this past weekend, just gone, was the the annual Old Port Festival in the city of Portland, and this was my first chance to go, because previous years I've been working at Walmart, and at Walmart there are no weekends, and since I left Walmart, I work at a place that does Special Olympics, and Maine's Special Olympics, state Special Olympics meet is always the same weekend as the Old Port Festival. So I've never gotten to go before. And even though I am not a huge fan of either sunlight or crowds, both of which were plentiful at the Old Port Festival.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
There was not a cloud in the sky.
Yes. Yeah. It was a scorcher, kids. But I had a great time. There was fair food. We had lunch at one of the Old Port's better restaurants, Greedy McDuff's. I got
That
to see
place
Los
was
Lonely
packed.
Boys. Nate and I hung out together and watched Los Lonely Boys on the doorstep of my local comic book shop, Casablanca Comics.
That's awesome.
And that was pretty awesome. I mean, I only knew one song by the Los Lonely Boys.
Yeah, me
it's
too.
The same. It's the same song you know by them, because it's the only song anyone knows. But they know the crap out of guitar, and they were playing riffs by Carlos Santana, and that was pretty awesome. Just the crowd was super into it. A whole lot of positive energy. There were people dancing in the crowd that even though we were packed tight into Middle Street like sardines, they would part enough that the people who were really getting down could really get down. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I had a great time. I'm hoping to go again next year. Maybe for more than one day, because it's all weekend now. It's three days as opposed to just one day like it used to be.
I can never get to the first 2 days. I always end up being on the last day.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Do you know why the Old Port Festival exists?
No.
The reason it exists now, like I don't know when it was, like maybe in the 50s or whatnot.
Whatnot? That's just crazy.
It's crazy, man. The Portland Museum there was opened up would open up, and anyone can come on this day for free. It's just a whole thing for. It's a day for free. You can come in and visit the old art museum for free.
Cool.
So it was kind of cool, and then people started making their own art and doing it outside and start, showing off their art, and eventually got more popular and time, and then it eventually built up to where you can look at art and buy art, and it was pretty much all free.
Cool.
Some people gave out food and everything, and it just got bigger and bigger. Eventually, it became the Old Port Festival. That's why art is very prevalent through the whole thing, the whole art walk and the whole selling of art and everything. It's pretty, it was a great idea. It just shot off.
Nice. All right, well, thank you for the historical context.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome, dude.
I thought it was necessary. That way the listener knows where its roots, and now you know.
Oh, excellent.
And knowing it's after the battle.
G.I. Joe. Yeah. So that was a blast. Yeah.
I didn't get sunburn. No sunburn.
Yeah. Yes. Even though we are two of the palest Caucasians in the history of the sport, neither of us got especially sunburned. I got a little extra freckly. That was about it. But we basically lathered on the sunscreen. I went to Lowe's and picked up some weather beater paint and coated myself in weather beater paint so that I wouldn't sunburn. Put a couple of layers on the back of the neck and wore a hat. But yeah, I was pretty proud of that because pet peeve. Pet peeve is ye olde sunburn. Even on I go out on a cloudy day, and having an admittedly quite bald head. It's pretty terrible when the sunburn starts to peel on the top of your head, and I start to look like one of those guys from Alien Nation. Seriously, there are pictures of me looking like that with the spots.
Oh, jeez. But it's dangerous to go alone. I had 3.5 geeks. That reminds me of a time I went to this concert, this huge concert. It was all day. It was Oxfest, they called it. And I believe we forgot the sunscreen. And the sun was beating on. There was no refuge whatsoever from the sun.
Oh.
None. It's the first time I ever went here. I didn't realize there'd be no refuge from the sun.
Oh, man.
And I didn't realize there's really nothing to sit on but the dirt on the floor. Luckily, I went with my brother and his wife, Chandra, and my brother's name is Jonathan. And they had at least a blanket, and pretty much for almost 12 hours out there being in the sun, I was red like a lobster.
Oh, jeez, dude.
And the beginning felt like it wasn't worth it to me. It just, because all the bands were horrible. And the original band I went to go see, Fifth Freedom. Hey guys, I do like your work. Fifth Freedom is a local band run by a guy named Alan Jones, and I forget what his name is. Sorry, man. They do. I think they do a good job. I miss them, Fifth Freedom, and I just nothing but. I'm sorry, crap. Nothing but crap. And then at the end, though, they shut down the stages, and then they opened up a brand new stage. I was wondering about it. Was an empty stage there?
Huh.
And all these popular bands are big bands like Seven Dust and
Whoa.
Yeah. Suddenly these big bands that ended the stage. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And I didn't realize part of Oxfest was another tour that they combined together with it.
Oh.
Yeah, and have you heard of the band? Well, I think everyone's heard of they sing Barrel of 45. Look, staring down a barrel of 45. I can't remember the name right now. Staring down a barrel of a 45. They do Simple Kind of Man.
No, it starts with an S. Silver Shinedown.
Shinedown, yes.
Yeah.
And that was the ending, and that was the big band. Like they opened up like a whole giant screen, and for Barrel was a 45. They had a what did they do it like with the hand motions for the deaf and the blind? I'm sorry.
They had it done in sign language?
Yeah, sign language.
They had an interpreter? That's pretty awesome, dude.
Screen with two hands interpreting the whole song.
Cool.
That was amazing.
That's great. That's very inclusive. Respect.
It was they're so much better live than they are on the radio. They're heavier. It sounds more metal.
Really? Because they don't suck on the radio either.
No, I'm not saying they don't suck on the radio. I'm just saying they're better.
Yeah. I'm saying it's pretty awesome that they're even better live because they really rock my socks on the radio. So that's awesome.
And by that time, by the end of the night, the worst thing happened. I'm lucky that I went to the bathroom like later on, before this. The bathrooms, each one was filled up. They were the toilet potties, and they had like freaking 6 or 7 of them. And people were all lined up to go to the bathroom because it was kind of that time.
Yeah.
And no one could go because they were just filled up.
Wow.
Each one was filled up. Oh, it was really bad.
Yeah, that is exceptionally gross, dude.
It was disgusting.
That is the bog of eternal stench. That is the Golgothan from Dogma. That is yeah.
It kind of. I thought, is this what Woodstock's like?
Well, one of them was like that, except they were on fire.
Oh.
The porta potties were on fire.
Damn.
As well as being
Shit.
We at some point we should have a history lesson about the various Woodstocks. That would be interesting.
It was fun though. It was a story that I totally forgot, and you ended up reminding me about the sun.
Yeah.
I was beat red. Never again. Even though I had an awesome time at the end. It had a great payout.
Yeah.
But
sticking it out. You I mean, yes, you had to deal with the porta potties, but you also you also got some Shinedown. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. There's just big names, dude. Big names that you'd hear on the radio. Because I was blown away. I didn't realize, wait, there's other bands here?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Actual rock and roll awesomeness?
These other bands suck.
For which I shall raise my hands as horns?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. But, moving forward, Dane, going forward, it's not too late. Sorry. To whip it. You ever see that Family Guy episode yet?
Yes.
Peter gets a whip.
No. Okay, that one doesn't sound familiar. I do remember one point where one of them dressed as Devo when they were forming a band. I believe Quagmire dressed as Devo for some reason, but I could be remembering that wrong. Then all of a sudden they get on stage in front of a bunch of prisoners,
crap.
Crap, we don't know any songs.
That was a really good episode.
It's a prison riot. I liked the Journey song that spawned the band in the first place, the karaoke Journey moment.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love "Don't Stop Believing" at the top of your lungs on karaoke night? Just no one
more.
doesn't sing along with that. You know, like
just a city boy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Living yourself to try. It's just in case people don't know the song. Matt, did you take a midnight train going anywhere?
Not going anywhere. I had a specific place in mind.
Destination.
First I took a plane from England to America, and then about 25 years later, traveled north to Maine from New Hampshire. I did not go anywhere. I don't like surprises when I travel, as we talked about last week.
I don't blame you. Surprises in your travel.
Was that last week or a couple weeks ago? Yeah, no, it was 2 podcasts ago. The airplane bathroom story.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah. So I don't like surprises when I travel. I'm not taking a midnight train going anywhere. I'll take one to Chicago. You know, provided it's not on fire. like the bathrooms at certain Woodstocks. I'm the sole survivor of the robot apocalypse, and I still listen to 3.5 Geeks.
So I also want to talk about. Oh yeah, sorry. It's time for my anime review or my video game anime review. Yay!
Segment debut. Brand new segment. Woo!
All right. So today's anime review is it's actually an anime. This one's on Armitage. It's called Armitage the Third. It came out back early 90s ish. It was a time when I was when I really got into that whole cyber kind of futuristic anime, and this one's about people populating the planet Mars. They realized that there's too much space on Earth, and they need to start moving people for more room. Then they start moving to Mars.
Cool.
And it's about an android woman who works in a police force on Mars and takes down the bad guys. In the beginning, and she meets this guy that gets transferred from Mars. I mean, from Mars, yes, from Earth to Mars. And he's been in the Earth police force for many years. He's the new guy, and he's well done. And down the story, they end up falling in love, and when that love hits, it's like becomes forbidden. There's some spoil. That's a bit of a spoiler, but it's worth to watch. It becomes conflicted. You start realizing what's going on. The story in the beginning is kind of mundane, but then it just picks up speed. It's a great anime, and if you never watched an anime before, it's a good one because it's a movie too. And so it's kind of short. I give it, I'm going to do a 5-point system rating, and I give this anime 3.5. It has great action. It's unfortunately it's a little confusing at points, but if you hang in there, you'll understand the story. I had to watch it a couple of times actually. Every time I rewatched it, I got a little bit more. I was kind of young too. It's better if you're an adult watching this, and it's a good starter movie for an adult because you don't always have time to watch a season of anime, and I highly recommend it.
Very cool. Very cool. I actually, I'm not a huge anime person. I have touched on, here and there a few anime projects, notably the works of Hayao Miyazaki, Miyazaki-sama, like the god of anime. I love me some Ghost in the Shell, but I think I actually like briefly encountered Armitage at one point when the Sci-Fi Channel was doing its like Saturday morning anime segment about 100 years ago, before sci-fi was spelled with Y's. And I feel like it had like some surprisingly recognizable celebrity voices.
It does.
Like Elizabeth Berkley from Saved by the Bell was in it, and am I remembering right? I'm not googling this. So this is just offhand. Was Kiefer Sutherland in it?
I can't remember. It's been a while.
Oh, that's okay. That's cool.
But there are some definitely celebrity. The dubbing is a little off, but you know that happens. There's a lot of dubbing. That's another reason why I gave it a 3.5. You know, nowadays dubbing is actually getting better.
And you're not just giving it a 3.5 because it's your first ranking on 3.5 Geeks?
I didn't even think of that. No.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
I didn't even think about it. It was subconscious.
Nice cross promotion. The capitalist in me applauds you. But yes,
Matt, if you're interested in watching the movie, I have both of them. There's the second part of it.
Cool.
I don't exactly appreciate the second one, but it was still pretty well done.
Yeah, I have discovered that, yes, I did remember correctly that it was Elizabeth Berkley and Kiefer Sutherland in that. Yes. So that's pretty awesome. So, you know, fans of Jack Bauer's voice may or may not enjoy Armitage the Third. Cool.
And that's the end of my segment. Haha.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you very much for that.
You will listen to 3.5 Geeks. I command you.
We're hoping to roll out individual, you know, segments and stuff like that, make this more interesting. Maybe next time I'll review a movie as Sean Connery. I don't know.
Sean Connery. I'm Sean Connery.
I think this movie should get 2 thumbs up. Yeah, but, you know.
6 thumbs up. Don't wait.
So Sean Connery watches a Western. Most things in this film don't react well to bullets.
Once again, I'm going to be at PortCon. Yay!
Oh, yeah, PortCon's coming up.
Yes, PortCon Maine.
It's the
only gaming freaking con in Maine. Well, there's new ones coming.
Yeah. I mean, they have Coast City Comic Con and whatever. I'm sure that has some gaming, but dude,
I can't wait. I will be running Hackmaster too, hopefully, and I will be running my Dead Space D20 campaign that I am reinventing was 3.5.
There it is again.
A bit of Pathfinder.
Cool.
And it's going to be interesting, and I can't wait till it's finished, and I can toss that project aside, send it in the internet, so you guys can be like, hey, you want to play Dead Space D20, made by this guy named Nathan Towns?
That's pretty awesome,
by Matthew I. Bishop?
What?
You're editing the...
Oh, right. Yes. I am absolutely on board as the proofreader for that. Yes, excellent. That should be great. I expect detailed reports from the front lines of PortCon, as I have not yet gotten to go to that. Hopefully next year. You know, God willing, and the creek don't rise.
Yes. If any exploits of characters do something really fun and interesting, I will definitely embellish upon it. What?
I always enjoy seeing the cosplayers at PortCon.
Oh yeah, the cosplayers
Yeah.
can be amazing.
Yeah.
It, I've seen. Have you ever played Katamari Damacy?
Yes. It took me a minute to translate that.
Listener, if you don't know what that is, you're this little guy that you roll up things with a ball, and it's fun. It is really fun. Play it. It's ridiculous and fun.
Very addictive.
Yeah, that's too addictive. And the guy was the prince's father. He had this giant tube over his head and everything.
Yeah.
And he had the outfit and everything. It was well done.
If you the King of the Cosmos, he's called.
King of the Cosmos. That's right.
Yeah. If you haven't seen pictures of King of the Cosmos, Google that now. We can't provide visual stimulation. I'm sorry. This is a podcast. But yeah, Google that now, and that you'll get what the thing is with the tube head. But yeah,
tube head.
What I'm excited to discover is how many people are going to be cosplaying versions of X-Men from the new Days of Future Past movie.
Yeah,
because there are some amazing costume options in there. Just seriously.
A lot of people also do Doctor Who.
Cool. Yeah, and
I know someone that does a 10. She does a great job. She does a great job.
I also saw on a previous year a couple dressed as Sokka and Suki from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I thought that was an amazing thing, because that's easily one of my favorite relationships from the Last Airbender series. And I demand that Book 3 of Korra tell us what happened to Suki. Demand it.
I watched the Days of Future Past. Speaking of that,
yes.
Thank you. I'm not going to say how. And I thought it was amazing.
Agreed.
At the same time, it was a bit of a stretch, a little bit.
Why do you say that?
Let's see.
Try to be as spoiler-free as possible, though our disclaimer does mention that we will let spoilers slip from time to time when we're not paying attention. So listener, you are warned.
They could have had Quicksilver in near the end there. I'm not going to really say, but you just kind of
you wanted more Quicksilver.
I did.
I agree with you there. I wanted more Quicksilver too. I mean, he definitely served his purpose in the storyline, and he was really well done.
Oh my God!
Avengers 2 better be at the top of their game with their version of Quicksilver. Though I imagine that because their version of Quicksilver is going to be a little more grown up, a little harder around the edges. That Quicksilver from Avengers will be a little more like the sick and tired of everything Dick that Canon Comics 616 Quicksilver is, whereas the version from Days of Future Past, shall we say, predates that portion of Pietro Maximoff's life. And is not quite so beaten down, and is very much has the joie de vivre that I have long enjoyed among speedster characters. The enjoying watching the world stand still around him, as opposed to the Ballad of Barry Allen, which he watches the world crawl to a halt around him.
And there's another
part. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the concept of Days of Future Past, it's basically taking the best members of the cast from the entire history of the X-Men movie franchise, well, not necessarily the best members of the cast, but members of the casts from every single era in the X-Men movie franchise, from the first X-Men movie to the lamentable Wolverine Origins, to X-Men 3, X-Men 2, X-Men United, X-Men First Class, all of the above are represented in this film, and the worlds collide in such a fashion as to be an amazing tribute to it's like a love story to the X-Men franchise, a love song, a love letter to the X-Men franchise, and I get the feeling, and I'm not going to say exactly how it pans out or whatever because I don't want to ruin anything, but I get the feeling that director Bryan Singer is firmly with me in my camp that X-Men 3 was in fact one of, if not the weakest member of the franchise, the weakest installation of the franchise, and you'll see what I mean when you watch the movie. Go watch the movie. It was awesome.
X-Men.
So yeah, that's
there was also a part where it near the beginning, it I don't know, some of the like the concepts of a character that I'd never really seen before that probably existed in the X-Men universe just never got embellished in like the cartoon or what, because that's where I get most of my X-Men information.
Oh, right. Okay, like the characters we meet at the very beginning of the movie.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. We got some great cameos.
That was cool.
I don't mind talking about Blink until I'm blue in the face, because we actually talked about her during the like 2 podcasts ago when we were talking about our favorite X-Men characters. I was really sad that Alan Cumming didn't come back as Nightcrawler, because after Rogue, he is my favorite character. If I was going to be an X-Man, if I was going to be a member of the X-Men, I would want to be Nightcrawler. Blue fuzz, funny fingers, tensile tail, and all. I would love to be Nightcrawler.
I don't blame you.
I was very, very sad because Alan Cumming did a great job playing him in X-Men 2, but he was also very unhappy with the extensive makeup and prosthetics that he had to wear. And, you can see him.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, you can see him almost in agony in the behind the scenes stuff on the DVD. Just like, really, never again. If there's a sequel, we'll talk. But, obviously, instead of Nightcrawler in X-Men 3, we got Beast. And that was pretty awesome. Again, one of the few things I liked about X-Men 3 was Beast.
Happened to the Fantastic Four, the guy that played thing or whatever his name is.
Ben Grimm, Michael Chiklis. Yes.
Yeah.
He was not particularly happy with
that
unsatisfied that setup, that getup. And
it's not that he didn't like the character. It's just
he loved the character, and from that franchise, he and Chris Evans did the best jobs of embodying their characters, as far as my opinion
the
goes.
Characters are very well done.
Yeah.
Just the movie was like.
Yeah. But Ben, Michael Chiklis, then went on to play on a very enjoyable TV show, Gone Before Its Time, No Ordinary Family, where he plays a member of a family with superpowers. And he basically has Ben Grimm's power set. A little bit of the Hulk. Because he does a lot of jumping. But he's basically invulnerable, and he's super strong. And he doesn't have to wear a metric ton of brickwork makeup. he still gets to play the character, but he's not, buried under a ton of rocks.
I did like in X-Men Future Fast. This is not much of a spoiler. Toad.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we get to see a version of Toad. Unfortunately, not the illustrious Ray Park, as seen in the first X-Men movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love me some Ray Park. And he's my fantasy cast to play Iron Fist. By the way, they're probably going to go with someone younger at this point, but dude would kick some ass as Danny Rand, and you can't tell me otherwise.
I just like that. I don't know, something about that character who played Toad there. It was rather interesting.
Oh, you mean the Days of Future Past version?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was rather interesting.
Yeah. I liked him. Yes.
I don't want to spoil anything.
No. Biting my tongue.
Me too.
It's been out for a few weeks, right? We can spoil stuff. No, I don't want to get stabbed in my sleep. Yeah, no. I wake up with 6 bone claws through my chest. I heard you were spoiling Days of Future Past. Sorry, Logan.
Puffing on his cigar.
Yeah, not only are you puncturing my lungs with the bony protrusions that launch out from between your knuckles, but you're also giving me secondhand smoke. Logan, you're a dick.
And then he just takes that cigar and just burns it on your forehead and then just flicks it and just walks off.
Yeah.
Sounds like something Logan would do, in my opinion, when he's pissed off.
Bye. Yeah, well, he steals Cyclops' motorcycle repeatedly, so that's pretty awesome. And I love me some Cyclops too. I mean, I think Cyclops gets a lot of shit as a member of the X-Men, and his canonical comics version these days is taking some weird turns, but in my opinion, but I always did enjoy him as a character and would staunchly defend him, and not just because he's the guy who wears glasses. I wear glasses.
He's the team leader, in my opinion. Besides, Chuck there.
Chuck is the visionary team founder, but Scott is the tactical team general. He's the
reminds
front
me
commander.
Of a jock. Every time he's
the quarterback.
He's very a jock.
He's the quarterback. He's the quarterback of the team.
He reminds me of the Red Ranger.
Well, that's ironic, considering the color of his spectacles and of the energy that explodes
both jocks,
from his eyeballs.
They're both team leaders, and they're both use red.
I don't know, man. Give me a good Green Ranger any day of the week.
Hey, I like the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
I like me some Green Ranger.
Yeah, Tommy. But
dude, when I was a kid, I obsessed with the Green Ranger because we played Power Rangers. Playground.
Everyone did. I mean, it's I made fun of it, but I still like the concept. I thought it was. I thought it was a combination ripoff of Ultraman and Voltron, and
I never really heard of those back then. I've heard of them way before now. Now I've heard of them.
Oh yeah. I was going to say, the first anime probably that I ever watched was Voltron.
We need Voltron.
Yeah, Defender of the Universe. And of course,
I always
Ultraman.
think of the robot chicken sketch. Gotta work it.
Yeah. Today, Voltron got served. Yeah.
I don't mean to derail you there.
Anyway,
Part of my
the
nature.
thing that you should be taking from this particular part of the seminar is X-Men Days of Future Past was awesome.
Give it the horns.
Just unbelievable. I thought X-Men 2 was going to be my favorite X-Men movie of all time. Now it is only in second place. So good, so intelligent, and you know, it
Witty,
leaves you
funny.
asking questions afterwards, like how did that work?
Well done.
What happened with that? And there was some major nerding out with my between myself and my very good friend Rachel, about the different aspects of the things that they did, and what even was that? That was awesome. That was great. I loved that part with the whoosh and the boom and the
thing.
And you almost thought he was going to make it, but no! Oh, disaster.
The kicker is how they get back in time. That was weird.
Yeah, and that's something that I have an explanation for that I can tell you off the air, without spoiling anything for the listener. Yeah. So.
Oh.
So yeah. Oh yeah. If you are interested in my explanation for that particular aspect of the film, please message us at 3.5 Geeks on Facebook, and I can tell you off the Facebook wall without spoiling anything.
Or Tumblr. Can they send messages on Twitter?
They could inbox us through Tumblr, and what have you. Currently, the URL for our Tumblr is 35geeks.tumblr.com. Is that right? And then for Twitter, it's 35_geeks at 35_geeks. That's our Twitter. And then just search for 3.5 Geeks on Facebook, and you'll find us there. And there's also the email address, which is
geek3.5podcast@gmail.com.
Thank you. I can never remember that. I appreciate that. And also keep in mind when we start talking about homework and stuff like that, if you go back through and you listen to the different podcasts that we've done in the past, there is no due date for the homework.
Never due date.
Yeah, never a due date. If you listen to our first podcast and you anything about that gets you thinking, the homework, the commentary, what have you, drop us a line for any reason, for anything, any purpose, and we would be happy to discuss that stuff with you.
And if you want to be a special guest on the show and we approve, just totally lay us a line.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's the logistical thing of getting your voice recorded for the setup or what have you. But we can try and figure that out. One of the suggestions that someone made to us this week was that we have special guests, and that would be interesting to do.
Holy crap!
We would love to have other voices on here, breaking the monotony that is our voices.
I totally concur.
Interspersing with our voices, our droning voices. My wife gives me crap about my voice. It puts her right to sleep.
If you play it backwards,
anytime that I go off on a geeky subject for any extended period of time, that she falls asleep, and we've actually weaponized that somewhat because sometimes when she's having trouble sleeping, I'll tell her a story. She'll go right out. So,
and me,
I love my wife. It is okay with me that she doesn't listen to the podcast, but It's still pretty funny.
And with me, I'm totally willing to listen to the whole damn thing, so you won't put me to sleep.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you, sir.
And, I'm looking at this table I have my computer on. Mm-hmm. I've realized I had this table since high school.
Cool.
Maybe, and it's probably been around before that.
Yeah, holy crap. How old are you? Was high school like 2 weeks ago for you, or what?
No way. High school was kind of long ago. I bet I'm 30, almost 30.
Oh, you're 30. Oh, yeah, no, you're still a young Turk. I'm turning 35 in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
yeah,
God.
Yeah, compared to you, I am Mesozoic compared to you. Paleolithic.
I will be turning 30 in July 21st.
Well, happy birthday in advance, mon frere.
And same with you on June 21st.
June 28th. But
28th, sorry.
Good try, thank you. A lot of people do get my birthday wrong, so don't worry about it. But yeah, I share a birthday with John Elway and Mel Brooks. Not year, obviously, but I was born on the same day as them. Also, history lesson. It's the day that World War I basically started. Yeah, back in the day, back in 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand I and his lovely wife Sophia got killed in the backstreets of Sarajevo, I think it was, and that started knocking the dominoes down for World War I. Yay!
Wow. I share a birthday with playing Castaway.
Tom Hanks?
Yeah, Tom Hanks.
Cool.
Tom Hanks. I also share a birthday with my coworker, Pete, we call him.
Cool.
Don't know how I feel about that. And and if you're gonna celebrate my birthday 2 days later, guess what? My mother's birthday.
Oh, that's cool.
Deal with me on her birthday.
My sister's birthday is 4 days after mine, 2 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, your birthday also? It's the same birthday as one of my nephews.
Oh, cool. Well, tell him I said happy birthday, too.
He's turning 10 now. So he's going through that awkward phase of becoming a tween and whatnot.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
Well, congratulations, Planet Earth. We're all old.
I'm Skeletor, and when I'm not trying to rule over the world, I listen to 3.5 Geek.
I think that's a good point to start wrapping things up.
Yes.
I think we have prattled on quite long enough.
I can't help it. I tried to limit us.
Congratulations, achievement unlocked. I don't have a present for you, but you have my undying admiration for sticking it out this long.
I'm sorry. I was supposed to limit us on time, and I totally forgot. I can't help it. I don't know if it's going to work.
We just get talking. But yeah, I mean, again, we're still trying to iron out the kinks in the whole process, and we'll get it to a well-oiled machine eventually. Right now, we're still doing the takedown cruise.
So please keep listening, please. I'm on my knees, man. I'm on my knees. Well, figuratively, I'm on my knees. Please keep listening. It'll get better. Trust me.
Figuratively speaking.
I will get better equipment eventually,
we are
too.
For homework, this next session, I would like you guys to think about creators, not necessarily just writers, but artists, directors, or what have you that changed your lives, or at the very least drew you into a deeper level of geekiness, I will talk probably at length next time until I'm blue in the frickin' face about my particular changed my life forever creator. But yeah, you guys be thinking about that and hit us up on the Facebook wall, email, Tumblr, Twitter, all over the interwebs.
On that note, I wanted to know what really changed everything for me was actually Final Fantasy. Not that I really still into it. The creators of Final Fantasy, their whole ideas, and actually the creators of TBC.
Cool. Did you ever play Dragon Warrior at all? Because Akira Toriyama. Akira Toriyama also did the art for Dragon Warrior and that series.
He did Chrono
Trigger.
Trigger.
It's a very similar play style and mythology to Final Fantasy.
Did Chrono Trigger too.
Yeah. Oh right.
I was obsessed with Chrono Trigger too. That's another. So that artist, that creator right there, had a lot of impact on me.
I don't want to get started on mine because we're already trying to wrap things up, and I will talk for hours.
Yeah. Well, on that note, it's great talking to you. Until next time.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you, listener.
Thank you very much.
God bless. May the force be with you, and live long and prosper. And good night.
And happy Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
Night. Bye.
Bye. 3.5 Geeks is an independent amateur production. We are not compensated by 3.5 Geeks is an independent amateur production. We are not compensated by studios or publishers or companies for mentioning their products, nor do we make any claim to copyrights or trademarks. All celebrity voices are impersonated. We're just a couple people who want to talk about stuff that excites and inspires and enrages us. Our language may occasionally be NSFW. We may let spoilers slip. We may say stuff that excites or inspires or enrages you. Listen at your own risk. Consult your doctor before taking internally. Be excellent to each other.